spirited sort of like uh, forms of healing, there's that sexual energy that has, so I wouldn't say predominant, but it can be rather present,
Yes.
and one has to know how to balance it and not use it. At least that's my reading of it. You might contradict me or add or whatever, but I would say that one has to really be aware of the importance of not of using that energy wisely
Yes.
and maneuvering without it becoming a blockage for the actual treatment.
Yes. Well, sexual energy is very important energy. It's the first act of assisting in manifestation for even giving birth.
Hmm.
So, if it's utilized properly from an energetic standpoint and from a healing standpoint, however you choose to do it, it has to be done in a sacred space and not
Hmm.
when you're seeking healing. If someone didn't ask for that, then
No, you
don't give
should.
it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Don't offer
that's
it
not the goal.
either. Because
Yeah,
then, because people already have their preconceived notions about what sex is, when in reality, it is one of the most beautiful acts that we could ever do to assist in our purest form of manifestation. When
I
your
agree.
partner is in alignment with you and you're producing this energy, and that's another subject in itself, but it's so important.
We're gonna need to do a show just on that,
Yeah,
which actually we
yeah.
will. But I I I think as we talk about healing and spiritual work, um, you spoke of the one of the um, evolution that you've embraced as far as your personal practice and adding just another skill set to your vast array of capacities,
Mhm.
which is healing via sounds.
Yeah,
And the balls and I'm seeing and we all see the setup behind you with actually may I ask you just to like give us a little just spread some of that energy through the sounds right before we
sure.
dive into this, please,
I
if you
will.
don't mind.
Which would you prefer?
Something
Because
is just visualize what the
I got it.
viewers,
I got it.
that's your call.
Let me get my bowls. Give me 1 second. All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to place them on the table here because with the microphone, um, you can pick these up just using room, like
Hmm.
condenser microphones. This is a condenser, so it will pick up the space pretty well. Excuse the noise in the background. I have my little fruit snack
So
back
good.
there. But these are Tibetan healing bowls. These are not singing bowls. It is not the most healing way to produce a healing sound when you sing the bowl. And I'll show you that in a second. These are full moon bowls, so they're blessed during a full moon. And this is the
Yeah.
symbol
Hmm.
that it has on it. And you can order these on Etsy. You can order them through other dealers. My advice is if you want to step into sound, go to Etsy and go through the process of understanding, do your pricing, things of that nature. Sometimes they have deals. And I would start with one bowl and I would start with a small hand bowl like this or a set of two. The reason why I say two is because we have two sides of our body. We have two sides of our brain. We have two lungs, two ovaries, 2 feet, two hands, two ears, two eyes, two nostrils. Um, so you want to balance that out. Even sitting here while I'm communicating with you, I have two crystals, and these assist me so I can make sure I stay in the the realm of speaking about healing and keeping that intention. I see it,
Hmm.
I know how it works. It's a reminder. Just
Hmm.
like you're wearing the color yellow. This is yellow. It's the same energy. It's
Hmm.
manifestation energy. It's
Hmm.
Oshun energy. It's the sun energy. It's so much. So these bowls are made with 7 metals. How you would sing the bowl is you would go around. So you see these bowls that coming from these dealers, and they have this brass ring on it, and then they're dark, and then they have a brass bottom. These are the ones that you sing. It has one tone. Whereas if you play this one, let me take my ring off so it doesn't vibrate. When you play this bowl, and let me know if it's too loud or too abrasive. Can you hear that okay? So when you play this bowl, it's giving you more than one frequency. It's giving you so much more. And that's why I deal with these rather than the other bowls that just sing, because it's just giving me one tone. I'm a multifaceted being. I need all the assistance. So when you're and I specifically picked these 4 bowls. So, and they're still going. And when you play them close to each other, you start understanding that they're playing together. They're bouncing frequencies off each other, the pressure from the impact. I can't hear you.
Sorry. I was muting my sound so that we can have the
Okay.
full experience.
Yeah,
That's
so
really, really powerful. Yeah, I've had a session years ago in Mykonos, in Greece, with this guy that was doing healing with the balls, and it was amazing. He set up this thing on the floor, and it was literally there was this cliff, and there was a sea right underneath the cliff, and you could see just the wave crushing, you know, crashing on the stones, and all this. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing, and there was just this rush of energy, and I started crying because I was just like, yeah, there was just too much energy. It wasn't tears of pain or anything. It was just tears of just release, I guess.
yeah. So what the frequencies with these bowls and the gong, especially the gong, like if
So
in,
what's up? What's up? You're gonna give some of that gong
I don't
vibe?
know how it's going to sound. I
It's
can
okay. It's
get
okay.
it.
It's just for that spirit. We just want to get that vibe. Come on, yo.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
because a
give
lot
it
of people
now.
don't know what that is about. So come on.
Okay, I can't bring it any closer because I have a whole mat here. So hopefully let me bring the mic forward a little bit, and then I can share this with you guys. So
Right.
so if you can hear me, these gongs are forged in Wuhan,
Okay.
right?
That's right. They're corona free.
Yeah, so if you see the one on well, I don't know if that's your left or your right, it's my right. It's the
Yeah,
smaller
it's
one.
yeah.
So this gong is called a Mother Tesla. This is what they coined it, but it's really just a raw gong. It's forged in a fire and it's not lathed, so it has a very deep sound. For me, it sounds like a piece of the universe, the higher aspects of the universe. The one behind this one on the left, that is like a sub. These two are subwoofer gongs, so
Okay.
they have very deep tones. So I don't even know if you're going to hear it. So I have to play it in a different way with different mallets. Let me show you. There's more.
All
There's
right.
about 6 more. So there's so many mallets. But when you're playing with the gong, what it does is it washes the energy over you, and it literally activates all the energy in all the cells in your body to work cohesively to assist in your healing. I love working with these. As I'm talking, I can hear my
We can hear
voice.
it. We can
Yeah.
hear it. Yeah.
So I'll play. Let me make sure. Is anything? Oh, that's the microphone. So, and then there's the chair. All right. So let me get this started over here. Can you hear that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you hear it okay?
Perfectly. It's amazing, yo.
So yeah, so that's a little example. I don't usually play like that. I'm shocked that you could hear it. I'm excited.
It's
This lets me
actually
know that I can
amazing. We can actually feel the vibration. I mean, I could literally feel the vibration through the headphones,
Yes. And this is
the
one
in ears.
more. This is one more that I'll share with you.
Oh yes, this one. Hey, yo,
So
this
this
one
is a
is.
21-inch bowl. You can see how big it is. I
Mm,
will lay this on somebody's body if they've had a lot of trauma.
hmm.
Um, and one day, very soon, I'll share a link with you so that you could share it with everybody that's following on the channel. I just did
Absolutely.
an hour long session for a group of healers, and they utilize it this weekend because there's a lot of trauma that's just happening, and the healers are starting to step out in the community. So
Absolutely. Hmm.
I played the gong with the bowl. They don't necessarily, for me, in my healing, what I do, this doesn't necessarily work well together. However, what it does is it brings up different aspects of the self. So
Okay.
if you're to, hold on one second, I'm just moving around. Forgive me.
Oh please, man. We chilling. We vibing.
Yeah.
This is what this is about.
So if you do, that's a little other example.
Yo, I was literally closing my eyes and feeling that energy. Yo, this is deep. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a gift because it's that's your work, that's your practice, and thank you for sharing that with us, man.
Oh, no
Oof.
problem. Let me get myself back settled.
Yo, family, y'all see how it's done. Nicki Monty on the ones and twos in a different way.
Yeah, literally. But it's such a beautiful process because last year made all of us face ourselves. We didn't have
Yes.
anywhere to run. We didn't have an escape. We couldn't go to the liquor store. Sometimes we couldn't go to the store. We couldn't go see our friends. And
Mm,
I'm a loner anyway. I don't care. I love people, but I don't like all of them.
mhm,
So what it made me do is think about certain tactics that I was utilizing for escapism. I
mhm,
would just go to work.
mm,
Wasn't making enough money. Why am I still going to work? Why am I not doing something else with myself? It was all this fear that I had, and it made me I didn't have anything else. It was like Prince, just,
yeah, man.
just in my face. And I just saw Prince's picture the other day, and he was going like this, something like this. I was like, damn, that's what 2020 was like. It was that close
Mhm,
to
that's
like
right. That's right.
hitting me in my
That's right.
face. And
Yeah.
I said, I can't do this. I didn't like how I was feeling. I didn't like being here on this planet. I didn't like existing, being in my body. I didn't like anything. I could
Mhm.
feel people's stress, all the fear behind it. I have a picture that I took right after it started, and there's a store called Lowe's where you get your hardware and stuff to fix the house and all this shit. And I didn't have a mask on. Nobody had a mask on, but it was
Mhm.
after they announced like they're shutting it down. They didn't know what to do, and then all this stuff came so fast, and people, oh, I need toilet paper, I need bottled water, all this stuff, and I'm just like, God damn! If all this shit shut down tomorrow, where do I stand with all this? And all of my military experience came to the forefront,
Yeah,
and it was
because you
stressing.
used to be in the military, in
Yes,
the
I was in
army.
the army, so it's like fight or flight. You
Mm-hmm.
know, what do I do to protect my family, myself, my neighbors? Who are my friends that I can call on? Everybody just went
Mm.
that way. And I had to sit with myself and I said, "Oh shit. This must be what it feels like to die.
Mm.
You come here alone, you die alone. Who do you
True.
trust? Yourself." I didn't have a community because I was so busy working, and people are just so, they're not authentic, and I don't like to
People are
waste my
flaky, man.
time. Yeah, I don't like to waste my time with people that are not living their true authentic self. So I was really alone, and I said, okay, let me get back into my energy healing. Let me start doing more music. I wasn't motivated to do music. I said I want my music to make me feel good. I really want to feel good. And that's when I produced a different album last year. Um, the one that sounds more electronic and
Yes.
has, you know, elements that ask. It's interesting. That's the most different stuff I've done. And then I said, all right, it feels good, but it's not, it hits, it's part of me, but it's a shallow part of my soul. Like, this is the
Mm.
fun part. This is me wanting to go out and dance and experience life the way that it used to be. I can't. So I created something for me to dance to in a house and for others. And if they gather, then they can gather and enjoy themselves. It's not crazy ass music.
Mm-hmm.
Good for that. This year I did my Journey album, and it's called Journey
Mm-hmm.
because I went on a journey. I went on a literal medicine journey with myself. And that's when I really connected and I said, oh, and I was told that I'm a facilitator of sound healing. I've been doing it this whole time, but with the wrong intention. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how all of this started coming because I always had stuff, but I also have my drums, I have my medicine rattle, I have my feathers, I have, you know, crystal bowls, tuning forks, Tibetan bowls, gongs. Um, I use my hands. You know, we are, our hands are our first tools of healing. We all have this energy that we can utilize to assist others. So the laying of hands is something that's very well known in the church here. We're literally, people have been doing this since the beginning of time. We've always
Mm-hmm.
had an energy in our body. It's just lying dormant because of society. But
Very true.
yes, if we use our
The hands are very
imagination,
powerful. Yeah.
yes, if we use our imagination, if we use the talents that have been given to us. I mean, I'm reading these articles from these men that are coming from the late 18th, early 19th, early 20th century, and they're talking about crystals, the metaphysics of the mind, the power of imagination and thought, and all of these things. And these are things that indigenous Aboriginal people have always known,
Mm-hmm.
but because we didn't write it down, it was lost. So
Mm-hmm.
now I have to collect this information by working with my ancestors in spirit, the creator, the source, the ancient ones, the helpers, the guides, the ascended masters, all these energies that we call in when we're doing our work, when I do my work. Um, and they guide me into these spaces where I can learn how to play the gong.
So, what do you say to people who, when you speak like that, and they say, "Oh, this
I
is
don't,
Satan's work. This is evil. This is juju."
okay, well
What do you respond to them?
I tell them, well, that's an interesting program that you're running.
Hmm.
You know, you're
I agree.
Windows 95. Like I can't, I can't. You're Linux. You know,
That's right.
that's that old shit. That's, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm older than that. This is
Mm-hmm.
older than your way of thought. So
Mm-hmm.
don't you sing in church? Don't you guys have tambourines and
Mm-hmm.
shakers? Don't you yell for the voice of the Lord? Do you know who you're really worshiping? I
There
mean,
you go.
that's what I ask.
Proper counsel answer. That's what I
Yeah,
was.
God backwards
You
is
know?
dog. Are you worshiping beings from the star Sirius, the dog star? I mean, can we get real with it? Like, you need to do the etymology behind these words, and you need to do the history behind how this spiritual sister religion that you're adhering to, how it was built.
Mm-hmm.
Because religion means to bind. If you look at the etymology behind that, to bind, to enslave. So I'm spiritual. I'm dealing with energy that has been brought forth from the cosmos to assist me here on my walk. We have our earth beings, our cosmic energy that we work with, which what you want to call it, stars or planets,
Mm-hmm.
astrology. We have numerology. We
Mm-hmm.
have all these different systems. It is natural to us. These are encoded systems that we can utilize to assist us here on this earth walk and in our transition when we leave this planet or this plane. So when people come at me like that, I just and it's been a long time because when they look at me, they already know. They already know. She's wearing a feather. And when I see people, when I went out the other day and I had my feather and I was standing like this at the door waiting for my service because they wouldn't let me in because I won't wear a mask. I've had damage that's been done to my chest being in the military. So
Mm-hmm.
one of my lungs are, I'm working with it. So the
Mm-hmm.
damage that's been done is a lesson for me to learn more about my herbs. So everything that
Mm-hmm.
has happened to me didn't happen to me, it happened for me to learn and how to exist and heal myself and assist others. This is the whole thing. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. We're here to
Mm-hmm.
learn. If you believe in reincarnation or continuing these experiences coming back, we're learning here. This is a place to learn. So I want to evolve and go to the next space and continue my evolution because I'm experiencing this for the one that created me. So I want to do my best here. So people don't come at me like that anymore, but they see me. They see me. They see
What,
me.
what you just said is very powerful. It just resonated with me in a different way.
Hmm.
When you're sent to the next phase,
Hmm.
which most people consider once you die, there's nothing. There's a sense of nothingness when it's actually, well, it's a question of beliefs, right? Well, we believe that there's something, there's
Yes. Well,
much more than just. But I guess
there's
that's what people want to call paradise, and
yes.
that's the limited approach to understanding hell and, I guess, I don't know, hell
No,
and
like
paradise.
there.
Or,
So what? So I always like to ask people that are religious, what do you think is animating this body?
Mhm.
Oh, it's the soul. If you've seen a dead body, something is gone. Something is transitioned out. I've seen it myself. My trauma. So when I think of that and what I saw, it's so interesting
Mhm.
because now I can understand that there's something in us that is animating this body. We can't live without electricity. So something is in there and it's gone and it's coming through the womb space. There's a spark that happens when the sperm meets the egg. And then you keep on growing. The cell keeps growing and multiplying and constantly until we get this. You're going to tell me there's nothing else after this? You think that this is it? When you see somebody and their eyes are open and there's no life there, where did it go? You think it just extinguished itself like it's a candle and the flame is gone? No. We have
Mhm.
this consciousness, we have these experiences, we have all of I mean, look at this. My hands and how I'm talking. And while I'm talking, my brain and my neurons are firing. I'm using my left brain, my right brain, my my frontal lobe. I'm pulling information from my subconscious and bringing it forth to my consciousness. Some things that I speak, I don't even understand, but I remember it because it's not just been told to me here in this life, it's more than that. It's consciousness.
100%.
Everything has an energy. Even things that we feel are dead is still an energy. It's just not an electrified, animated energy. So and then we all, our bodies return back to the dust, and our spirits or our souls, our breath returns back to existence. And what if we choose to continue to dwell here, then we do. I mean, we create this, we create our reality. So if people would like to live in that reality, then that's fine.
Imagine
But
the amount of.
before that it was ancient Aboriginal practices. It was scarification, it was tattoos, it was understanding who your comrades were. It was war for food and not war for property, or it was different things. We didn't even think like
Yeah, it's
that.
true. It's true, and it's
And
also interesting because there's was the way you're putting things, which is very very pedagogical. Um, it's it's almost like, well, it's not almost. We've been, but there's a sense of like there's a reverse education where it's like there's a sense of urgency and fear because we've been told that after this there's nothing. You're gone forever. You're
yeah.
never back. You're never this, and it's like that sense of urgency can be very, very, very pressing, very traumatic, traumatic in many ways for a lot of people. I mean, I remember as a kid, that whole idea was very traumatic to me, very scary, like death, life. I didn't understand, and people, the explanations they were giving to me were just never doing it for me, never. And it's so interesting when you're able to like not only be exposed to the information that yeah there's a sense, well, there's life after death in the sense of your spirit, your breath, your soul is transitioning to a different realm,
Mm-hmm.
but also that you're exposed to your own capacities to tap into some of that observation from with your human understanding in your human mind.
Yeah.
But a part of that so-called divine energy, or supreme energy, is giving you a glimpse into that consciousness. You have a very narrow perception of the magnitude, yeah, the magnitude of this whole thing,
Yeah.
and it can be super scary and super humbling, or super encouraging and also very humbling. Um, but I see some people and I'm looking at them and I see the way they live their lives and I'm like, no judgments, but I'm just like, yo, too sad for your ass, man. I wish upon certain people to just be able to be touched by that sense of like, that's not just it. There's
Yeah.
much more. And I know it's not easy to believe because, we've not been educated to believe that. But
Yeah. Well, I grew up in the church.
mm,
I grew up in the church. I grew up Baptist. Um, I did Seventh Day Adventist. I did Mormon. I did Catholic. I I did Wiccan. I did Celtic, and I went back to Jesus. And then I was brought to Orisha. It all is the same stuff. It's
it's
just
just different
different
takes to
ways
it.
of dealing with it. And honestly, I'm at a point in my life where my Earth Day is coming. So my birthday is coming soon. I'm stepping
Mhm.
into a new decade. I'm not going to beg some spirits that I don't know to please help me. And I'm not going to do that every day. If you didn't hear me, I look at my children. If you didn't hear me the first time, then you're not getting it. So I need you to move out of the way.
Mhm.
I need the job to be done. So even the way I pray now, it's to call forth my assistance and not to beg, please, please, please. No, this
Mhm.
needs to be done now. I need you to come forth to assist this soul here. I need you to assist me, show me how to work, give me your eyes.
Mm.
Allow me to understand what I need to make right so that I may have a better existence while I'm here.
Powerful.
So I don't beg anymore. My ancestors have told me this. Orisha have told me this. My spirits have, when I do my medicine journeys, they tell me the same thing. You can't tell me everything. All these energies that I work with are telling me the same thing. You shouldn't be begging. We are a part of you. You are a part of us. We
And it's
don't,
true. Huh? It's true. When it
yeah.
was, I was reading something. I can't remember where, but it was saying that anything that you ask God, and if you ask or the Creator or the creation, but if you ask from a position of begging and weakness and I am insignificant, then you're going to get insignificant things, and you won't get any results. Whereas if you actually you're not equal, but you're in the image of, and you not even assert, but you claim what is promised to you,
Yeah.
what your soul or your heart desires, as long as this is motivated by pure intentions. But even then, the truth is that we always say that as long as you have good intentions, we see that even people with bad intentions also obtain what they want. It's just that they're tapping into a different set of energy that within that realm function, with their own codes of, lower vibrational, whatever frequencies.
Mhm.
But when you vibrate high, there's so much. It takes a little longer, but the result is very, 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 very,
Oh
very
yeah,
powerful and
no.
last longer.